Hey beautiful people, so today we're going to learn how to make pernil, which is pork shoulder, and this one's going to be a little bit bigger than a normal pork shoulder because you're going to have the pork shoulder and some of the pork butt. I'm cooking for an event that my church is having called Taste of Nations, and we are representing our countries that our family are from. So this year I'm going to represent my mother's side of my family, which is Puerto Rican, and so I'll be making Puerto Rican food, and I hope you enjoy this recipe. It is going to be delicious. And so first thing I'm going to do is make a seasoning that I want to use, and I'm going to use the NutriBullet because it's just easier so that I can put it more smoothly onto the pork. And I'll start with some Kalamata Olives. I like these, they have a good flavor. So I pitted them so that they, or de-pitted them. I'm not sure what you would say, is it pitted or de-pitted? But anyways, there is no pit inside of them. And I did about a half a cup. I'm gonna be using Spanish olives, and I'm using a full cup. And it also has some red peppers in there. They're not hot, so that will be a full cup. And I'm gonna allow the juice, which is vinegar based, so that it has a nice base. Vinegar is awesome for pork or any meat to tenderize, so this will really soak in and to give that extra tenderness that the meat will really use. It'll taste delicious, and it's gonna be just so juicy and tender. I'm using about 2 cups of cilantro, and I'm not cutting it because the actual NutriBullet should be able to cut it down. I'm going to use some peeled garlic cloves. I would say I'm gonna put in about 8. So that's 5 right there, and 3 more. And last but not least, capers. These, I would say about that's gonna be a tablespoon of capers. Put the cover on it. And if you have a food processor, you can do it in a food processor, you can do it in a blender. So the consistency almost looks like smoothie, and I'm gonna taste it. It's real vinegary base. It has a salt to it because of the pickling and the olives. So it's good because I'm cooking a 17, almost 18 pound piece of pork shoulder and butt. So that's really good, and I'll show you what I'll be doing with this. So this is the twin pork shoulders and part of the pork butt, and it's cut in 2 pieces, and this is the top part, which is the skin, and we're gonna season that with some sazon, which is also can be achote or saffron. I'm just gonna pour that right on there and start working it on the skin, because the skin is gonna be cooked face up so that the drippings of the fat that come off of the skin will cook through in the meat. It'll give it a nice juice and flavor and seasoning This part of the pork is a dark meat, so it already is going to be rich in flavor. And this piece will have bones, which is awesome, but they typically fall right off because we'll be cooking it slowly in 350 degrees in an oven. And every 30 minutes is how many pounds you are cooking. So since this is almost 18, it's going to be about 9 hours of cooking. And as you can see, the coating looks pretty darn good. So now we are gonna put it on the opposite side and start seasoning that. And with this side, as you can see all the fat, the marbling, the nice dark meat. You can see some bone. You know, it just looks nice and hearty, but that's gonna cook really good. So first thing I'm gonna do is another packet of Sazon, because I want it to cover nicely. And I use gloves because, like I said, I don't like getting dye on my hands, but some people will not use gloves. Also, I'm dealing with raw meat. This is pork, so it's just easier. When I wash my hands, I don't have to be as intense as I would after seasoning the meat without gloves. But to each their own. Not everybody has gloves in their kitchen. It's not a big deal. You know, old school, we didn't have gloves, so it wasn't a big deal. And I'm going to the sides. So this is gonna be nice and colored. You know, Sazon has such a good flavor, or even the pure brand of saffron. I mean, you're gonna get beautiful coloring, great flavor, and as you can see, it's looking orangey. That's the way we want it to look. So, 2 packets down. Now the third one. And I'm gonna work it in. All right, that's coated pretty nicely. You can actually marinate this 3 days before and let it really get into the meat, but I didn't have time to do that, so it's gonna be marinated, sit a little bit, and go in the oven, but it's gonna taste delicious. So now let's go on my wet ingredients. Remember I was telling you I made this. This is the olives, Spanish olives, the Kalamata olives, the capers, and garlic and cilantro. So it did a good amount. The color is not so pleasing to the eye, but it tastes delicious. It will make this meat be nice and tenderized and juicy and just have a great flavor. So I know it looks a little cray-cray, doesn't look appealing to the eye, but let me tell you, it will taste delicious. You won't have any idea of how it looked prior. So we have it nice and coated. All right. And now I'm gonna take one of my gloves off so that I could touch my dry ingredients, and that is Adobo. All right. I'm gonna be just putting a healthy amount, so that would be equivalent to probably 3 tablespoons. Then I'm putting in about 2 tablespoons of dry garlic powder. This is a lot of meat, so you want to season it well, but the natural meat has great flavor. A tablespoon black pepper. And a tablespoon of dry oregano. All right. And as you see, I didn't add any salt because the adobo is a seasoning salt. So let's flip them upside down so that the top is showing, and I can get some of that seasoning on there. It's not gonna do any harm to the skin. Flip the other one. And this pot that I have, or I call it caldero, is amazing. It's my mom's. She let me have it. A miracle. I mean, she would give me anything, but legit, like, it cooks the best. It has a dome cover and it's just amazing. So I had the oven preheat at 350, and I'm gonna put this in and let it do its thing, and I'll give you guys an update once it's cooking halfway, so you can see how it looks and if I need to add anything, change anything, move anything around. But this is gonna be delicious. All right, I hope you guys enjoy. So this is 2 hours of cooking. You see the juices are just coming down. See how it is right now? Looking good. And I'll cover it and let it keep going. And now it is, let's see, 6 hours cooking. Alright, yeah. Now we're 7 hours in. I mean, you see all the drippings. I mean, this thing is, it's soft. Everything is super tender, super soft. So it's just letting it sit and finish up. So I'm gonna lower the heat and let it do its thing. I mean, y'all, this thing is, bone is off. Look, bone is coming off. Like, I mean, it's juicy, it's tender, it's flavor, it's done. So all I'm doing is transferring the meat, and it is literally so tender. It's just breaking apart the way pulled pork would be. $17 pounds basically of meat. And it's dark and it's flavorful and it's juicy. And I mean, these are like beautiful chunks. It's natural drippings from the fat from the skin that it was cooking under. Including skin. If someone wants some, that's available too. Here is the end product. I mean, juices, and meat, and just all kinds of juicy goodness. Even some of the skin that's crispy. All of it is just beautiful. Gorgeous.